It's only, I think, one place to start, isn't there, really? It's at the Etihad. Man City, I mean, dismantled the champions Liverpool with that comprehensive 3-0 win. But could it have been different? Should it have been different if Virgil van Dijk's header hasn't been ruled out in the first half with the score at 1-0? Look, Dermot, we're going to get straight into it with you. Is this a subjective decision or that grey area for you?
I think both, Hayley. I think it is subjective without doubt. And it is a grey area because it's all about the interpretation. And as we've seen, we were just talking off screen, Jay and I, and we see things slightly different, don't we? Everybody sees things slightly different. And that's why you can throw up a decision from last year or earlier in the season and go, well, you know, they made a slightly different decision. It's because we see things slightly differently. I don't think there's hard and fast rules.
Yeah, what do you think, Jay?
I think this should have been given a goal. If you look at it here, Van Dijk's gone up, he's headed the ball. When you look at Donnarumma, he is coming across slightly to his right, but then he pivots to the left. So that means he can see where the ball is going. Yes, Robertson has ducked, but if anything, the person that's in his eye line more would be Doku, more than Robertson. And, you know, I don't know if you can read the rule, but it was something along the lines of the player making an action. A player making an action, in my opinion, is if he moves towards the ball or he tries to make contact with the ball. Robertson there has just ducked. So to me, he's made no action or effort to try and deflect the ball or get his head on it or whatnot. He's just got himself out the way of the ball. So that's why I think it should have been given, and I think that was a poor decision.
Yeah, look, we'll look specifically at the rules in just a moment, go through it. But look, this is what Andy Robertson made of the call.
I can't really comment on it. I think we'll let other people do that. But for me, it looked as, you know, a duck out the way. But I don't think the keeper is in any eye line to me, and that's the rules we get told at the start of the season. So it's a little bit of a difficult one. So I think that should have stood.
OK, so, right, these are the rules then. This is what we want to clarify. So, Dermot, we've got the first bullet point, clearly obstructing the opponent's line of vision. And draw your attention to the fourth bullet point, making an obvious action which clearly impacts on the ability of an opponent to play the ball. What's in play here?
Also 3, isn't it? Where he's close to the opponent, and I think that's got to be bear in mind. We saw at Everton a few weeks ago, Jack Grealish, corner comes across, Jake O'Brien heads it on, and Jack Grealish is stood next to Vicario. And I think this is similar in so much as Robertson's. If you look behind the goal, when Van Dijk heads the ball, Robertson is within 2 feet of the goalkeeper, so his presence impacts. This is the problem. It's not an exact science. There isn't somebody to go, that's definitely this, that's definitely this.
But I mean, one thing I would say, Bernardo Silva last season had the same thing, and a goal got given. I think it was with the same referee as well. So again, I mean, it's an interpretation, but it's the same referee. When I look at this, yes, he is close to him. So he might see him in his peripheral vision. He might understand that he is there. But obviously, first and foremost, Donnarumma is focused on the ball because he needs to know exactly where the ball is going. Now, there's no hesitation from Donnarumma, as in where is it going? So the fact that he hasn't hesitated at all and he's dived away, he's probably a hand away from the ball. He's dived, he hasn't gone, higher or lower. It's actually in line with where the ball enters the net.
Yep.
Tells me it wasn't offside. And Robinson, he's ducked out the way. He's ducked. The person that is more in his eye line that would have hindered him more in terms of vision would have been Doku, because Doku was standing right ahead of him. So that's why I think it should have been a goal, and I think it's a poor decision. But, like you said, it's an interpretation. And I think they need to, clamp down on the rules, how to make it more clear.
Yeah, well, that was my start point, wasn't it? Is that we have this grey area, we have this interpretation. Just to clear one thing up, I'm not trying to defend Chris Kavanagh, but I don't think you should hang him back to dry because he didn't make that decision yesterday. The decision was made by the assistant. The one at Wolves, he made the decision because he was sent to the monitor yesterday, he wasn't. So it is slightly different in that. Bear in mind, this was an on-field decision. The on-field decision was no goal. So the VAR looks and the VAR says, is Robertson in an offside position? Yes. Is he impacting on the goalkeeper? They obviously felt yes, because he was close. And I think that's why people are going, well, it should be this, it should be this. At the moment, it's not, is it? At the moment, it's left to interpretation.
Is that why? But the VAR could have said, why don't you go and look at the screen at this one? Is the reason why they didn't do that because they're like, well, we don't know, so we're just going to go with your decision on this one?
No, see, the VAR's not there to judge. It's not a panacea. It's not going to say, you've got this right, Jay, you've got this wrong.
Surely that's what VAR's for, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's not. That's a complete myth. It's there. Is it a clear and obvious error? Well, when you go through it stage by stage, is Robertson in offside position? Yes. Not necessarily an offence, but he is an offside position.
Yep. It's not an offence, is it?
No, that's what I said. It's not an offence, but he's in an offside position.
Yes.
Point one. Point two is he close to the goalkeeper and possibly impacting him? Well, he is.
But he's not impacting him, though.
Well, the assistant felt he was, and the video shows that he's in that position.
But that's an interpretation, isn't it? If he's impacting him.
Exactly. And if the VAR says you have to go and look at this, what you're doing, you're re-refereeing, because you're saying...
But VAR do that every week. VAR do that all the time.
VAR gets...
Why is this any different?
Because they didn't think it was a clear and obvious error. And
but then surely you should say to him, go to the camera to see if you think you've got this wrong.
You're not listening. You're not listening. It can only be sent to the screen if it's a clear and obvious error, or if it's a subjective offside which they have to go through. The on-field decision was no goal.
Yeah, I understand that.
Well, what can you do? The on-field decision can be backed up by the video, can't it? He is in offside position. He is close to the goalkeeper. So they say he's impacted.
Yeah, but they're not impacted. Was it again? Sorry, the term they used, the fourth one.
It was
impacting an opponent.
Making an obvious action which clearly impacts on the ability of an opponent to play the ball.
Where is the action that he's made that's impacted anything? That's what I want to know. Like, there is no action. An action would be throwing a foot at the ball or throwing your head at the ball. He has ducked. There is absolutely no action there that says he is interfering with play.
But we've gone through that.
What's the action? What is the action that they've gone with there? Can you tell me that?
I've told you.
What's that?
I've told you. He's in that proximity. He's moved away from the ball to clear the ball.
And that's my point. If he's moving away from the ball, it's not an action. If he was moving towards the ball, if he made an action toward the ball to try and flick it, then I could understand. The fact that he's just moved out the way, that's not an action.
But he's moved out of the way to clear the ball. So his impact on the goal. That was the decision.
Yeah,
wait. The decision was disallowed on field. And that's what I'm explaining to you. You can ask me till 12 o'clock when we go off air.
But the fact that he's moved out the way, Derms, the fact that he's moved out the way, which means Donnarumma's still got full vision of the ball. So he's moved, so Donnarumma can, he's got a better chance of saving it. The fact that he's moved.
He has.
If he deflects it the other way, then he's got no chance.
He has, but that ball has moved 10 yards before he's moved out of the way. That's. I can only tell you what I've seen, what the law is, and what they've come up with.
And bearing in mind as well, let's take this into consideration. Donnarumma's 6'7". Robinson is probably 5'8". So he can see and look. He's above everyone, right? So he can see the ball coming. And I just don't see, if the ball was coming from this angle and he's standing behind, then I would say I completely understand that. Okay. But the fact that he's standing I don't even know if I'm on my screen, sorry, Domes, can I use you? The fact that he's standing there and the ball's coming this way, I don't understand how he would be impacting. He's aware that he's there, but he definitely wouldn't be impacting him. The only time he would impact him, if he makes an action towards the ball. Sorry, Domes, I manhandled you there.
That's fine.
Let's just leave it there with you guys for now. Let's move on to what Jamie Carragher made of it yesterday. This is what he thinks.
We've got to keep an eye on Donnarumma here and where he shifts his weight. Now, right now, if he's going to dive, you could say, OK, Andy Robertson is in his way, but we're going to try and move this on really, really slowly. Donnarumma's weight is going to his right. He thinks the header for Van Dijk is going to go to his right. Look at his foot. So he's moving actually the opposite way. His foot is now planted now. Exactly the time the ball goes over Andy Robertson's head. So that is the true moment we should be looking at, not when it leaves Van Dijk's head, when it goes over Andy Robertson's head and he makes an action to get out of the way of the ball.
Does he have a point there then, Dermot?
I think everybody has a point, Hayley, because everybody sees it slightly differently, and that's what. So you asked me at the start, is it subjective, is it a grey area? And I said both, and I think that's the problem. There is no hard and fast. There isn't almost a line that you go, that's this, that's this. It's left to interpretation because the law isn't tight enough.
OK, let's get Arne Slot's view then here now.
I think it's obvious and clear that the wrong decision has been made, at least in my opinion.
Sorry, Arne, why do you think that?
Because he didn't interfere at all with what the goalkeeper could do. I immediately after the game, someone showed me the goal that what the same referee allowed City against Wolves last season, Wolves against City last season. So it took the linesman 13 seconds to raise his flag to say it's offside. So there was clearly communication.
Yeah, so Slot bringing up that Wolves game then. So Dermot, take us through the differences between yesterday's decision and what Slot referenced from last season, Chris Kavanagh, the referee again.
I think this one he's bang in line. There's no doubt about that, he's bang in line. So it's a matter of, does he think he's in his line of vision when he was sent to the screen? Because the on-field decision was no goal. He was sent to the screen because it was subjective. When he went to the screen, he felt there was enough distance between them where the ball had gone because the ball's gone up high.
I'll tell you why this one's a little bit different, Derms, because Bernardo Silva's actually made contact with the goalkeeper as well. But the fact that it's still been given tells me that, I mean, he has, as the ball's been headed, obviously Bernardo Silva's moved away there. So I think that is the right decision. It should have been given. And I think that one is a very good example of what should have been given yesterday. It's very, very similar. If anything, that one's worse because Bernardo Silva's actually touched the goalkeeper and put him off.
Yeah,
I think what it highlights is how difficult these kind of decisions are.
Should he not have sent him over to the screen though?
Well, they felt that the assistant would give offside. And as I said earlier, everything backs that up, doesn't it?
You know what, though? I have to be honest with you. Again, I allude back to if players are allowed to go into the VAR room to just help. Because I haven't heard one single player yet, ex-player, whoever, say that shouldn't have been a goal. That's the correct decision. Every single ex-player that I've spoken to and heard from, they've said that's a goal.
Yeah.
The only people I'm hearing, you know, is it shouldn't be, is the referees and the ex-referees.
Maybe that's why I'm an ex-referee.
We could be here all day, couldn't we? But, I mean, we're going to stay with this game because if that wasn't enough, Man City actually were awarded a penalty in the first half following a VAR review. Right decision in the end here for this one, though, Jay, with Doku.
Yeah, I do think this is the right one. Again, we always talk about from the defending point of view, if you touch the ball ever so slightly, you've got the ball, so it's not a penalty or a free kick. In this instance, Doku has been touched. He's running at speed, and any little touch that you get can put you off. To me, when you see the way he's like, he's still trying to shoot the ball, but you can see that he's not looking for that at all. He's been touched, his foot's touched him slightly, but his knees touched him as well. It's the correct decision for me.
Yeah, Dermot, with a high threshold we talk about, is there enough there to call that a clear and obvious error?
I think this is a penalty. I don't think there's enough with a foot, a slight touch with a foot, because not every contact is going to be a penalty, we know that. But he does catch him with his knee. And if you watch, it's not that. When he catches him there, he knocks him out of his stride. And by knocking him out of his stride, he loses the opportunity to shoot.
But can I say one thing to you, Dums? Because we always go back and forward on this now every single week pretty much. And you say to me, if the ball is touched minusculely, it's okay. Because he's got the ball, the defender's got the ball in the penalty area, outside the penalty area, whatever. Why is it not the same threshold for a player if he gets touched minusculely? Why are we talking about, is it enough? Because when it comes to an attacker, or sorry, a defender touching the ball, you're saying it's enough. Any little touch is enough. Why is it not the same for attackers when they're going through into the box?
I think that's a penalty.
I know you're saying that.
I think it's enough. I think he's caught him with his knee.
I know you're saying that one is enough, but what I'm trying to say is we're going to see some going forward now, and we spoke about some before where we say, is it enough that he's just touched them and he's gone down in the box? We have that all the time. We discuss that on air, off air. But the threshold on the other end, any little touch on the ball, it's okay.
Every game I refereed, I see players make physical contact. I see players clash. I didn't give a foul every time. When you played, you used physicality to shield the ball, whatever. I didn't give a free kick against you.
But I think there should be more quality is what I'm saying. If you're saying that any little touch on a ball is okay for a defender to make and it's not a free kick or a penalty, then it should be the same on the opposite way. Any little bit of contact on a player's foot which puts him off balance or stops him from having a shot or stops him to getting a ball, then that should be a penalty or a free kick as well.
I think you're out of kilter here because if you play football, it's not accepted, is it? It's accepted it's a physical game. It's accepted that players are going to clash. It's accepted that there's going to be contact. What the referee has to decide, is that contact enough to knock that player out to lose the ball? Is that contact enough to give a penalty?
Yeah, and I'm saying, is the contact enough to touch the ball away from a forward if he can get the ball again? This is what I'm alluding to. Like we've seen it. What was it? Gyökeres, for example, because that's the one that we go back to. Is that enough of contact on the ball to stop Gyökeres getting to the ball? And it's not enough contact because the ball is still in touching distance. He can still take probably 3 more strides if the keeper doesn't hit him. That's my point.
Yeah, but there's going to be hundreds of incidents like that.